Now, there is a source that was so close to Arsenal, and it still is, that has gone ahead to break very many stories concerning injuries and everything happening at the training ground of Arsenal. That went ahead to obviously break out a story that Martin Ødegaard, who was expected to return in November, had gone ahead obviously get a setback and was set to return in December. Guess what? Sky Sports has come out and refuted that, and I'm gonna really call this Martin Ødegaard injury fact check in here for you. We are really getting stories coming in from credible sources at Arsenal that is really wrong. Bukayo Saka undergoing what we call what we call a scan to see how far or how bad or worse his injury that he got when England is losing to the side of Greece. The injury that he really got when England is losing to the side of Greece. So, welcome to this channel. This is the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share if you're only watching us for the very first time. Endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun, and continue to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and I'm here to obviously get you the best that you guys deserve, and nothing is really gonna really stop us from obviously getting to where we deserve to be. So let's see close to 100 likes much in this video, and don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. So Mono Gadgets are really the sponsors of this video, and it's powered by Mono Gadgets, dealers in brand new phones and brand new laptops. And they also deal in used phones and laptops from the United Kingdom. If at all you feel like you want to really get something special from them, call them on +256 70 99 88 665. WhatsApp them on that number, and you come here and really thank me later, because this is what they do, and they've gone ahead to do it for some long period of time. And I tell you what, you will be excited and moved if at all you deal with them. They really have genuine products. I've gone ahead to see some people in here come and really affirm to me that, please Rokani, you really got us the best deal of the year. And with this year coming to an end, don't really get to an end by getting your money to buy a gadget like a phone, a laptop, not at Mono Gadgets. So you can as well go on TikTok, follow them up, search for Mono Gadgets. After searching for Mono Gadgets, go out and look for their wide range of products that they're really flaunting onto their TikTok shop, and you'll thank me later, because I know how good they are. I'll never recommend anything that is not really good onto this beautiful channel of ours. Now, this is the channel that has gone ahead to obviously bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned, and let's obviously get into the mix and see how things are really gonna pan out to really get you the best that you people deserve. I've already told you that we are really having eye dental care. You know, they're our partners. They've gone ahead to be nominated into what we call the high school awards. You can as well go into the description box below. The link is there. Cast that vote and see to it that we bring this award home. We have to bring this award home, guys. Go and vote by following that link. Now, yesterday, Sky Sports went ahead to obviously get the hearts of Arsenal fans back to normal, because they were really out of their beats per minute, you get. And I was like, what is really happening to Arsenal fans? Because after Saka getting an injury, you know, they had obviously got news on Monday, Tuesday that there was a very huge return ahead of schedule as far as the captain of Arsenal's injury longevity was really concerned, and he was really back to the treadmill, and everyone was like, all right, he's okay. And even when Saka really got all walked off the field of play when England was losing to Greece, very many Arsenal fans were like, all right, okay, Saka is going back and Martin Ødegaard is returning. We think that there is going to be some little bit of at least Saka going off and Martin Ødegaard is really returning. But Saka going off and Arsenal fans getting a story that Martin Ødegaard is not gonna be returning until December. Arsenal fans were like, oh no, God, why is this? Because injuries are really surging, Odegaard, Timber, Ben White, Partey, Kai Havertz. Now, Saka joining the queue plus Tierney, 7 injuries. Arsenal fans were like, oh God, no. But guess what? Relax and Float, Sky Sports has gone ahead, obviously, do some research onto the story that has been making rounds since Wednesday, and they have the following. That, meanwhile, contrary to reports on social media, Martin Ødegaard has not suffered a setback, and Arsenal are hopeful he can return from his ankle injury in November. So, what other better news would you want to obviously get from a side of Martin Ødegaard and Arsenal? I think this is the most exciting story that you'll ever want to get from the physio side of Arsenal. And I note it that it is being fed in, especially Sky Sports, by the club of Arsenal to obviously downpour all the rumors that we are really saturating around that Martin Ødegaard is not really going to be returning. And even Steve K, we all know that he is really one of those close sources at Arsenal, and he really does a lot at the transfer.com, Court Offside, and Anfield Watch. He has told us that Martin Ødegaard has not suffered a setback, and Arsenal are hopeful he can return from his ankle injury in November. Have you heard that? So, he hasn't gone ahead to suffer a setback, and he's really expected to return at Arsenal in what we call November. So, I think that is really good, because I know Arsenal has gone ahead to play very many games, and they've been without their captain. But Saka has gone ahead to obviously raise the bar, and he has captained the side of Arsenal and is really putting in performances that we are all really appreciating at the club of Arsenal. Though I don't support Arsenal, but for me, I appreciate a team that really plays some good football, and Arsenal are really a blueprint of patience and really sticking to your manager and sticking to the plan. So, when you look at Martin Ødegaard, Arsenal have missed him, but they are winning. And one thing that Arsenal is going to hate to lose a lot without Martin Ødegaard is the control of the game. The way he obviously gets hold onto that ball and helps these other players get into the game. However much Arsenal is really winning, but you see to it that the control, especially in the final third, is not as good, all apt, all top notch, as it has always going to hate to be when they're really having Martin Ødegaard. Martin Ødegaard can really get hold of that ball, invites pressure from opponents, and then create spaces for Martinelli and Saka to operate. You get? And even he can score goals. But I believe that if at all you're an Arsenal fan, you all know when the trophy race is on. If Arsenal is winning these games, right, and they're continuing to win them, I think it's better not to hurry back Martin Ødegaard. I would want Martin Ødegaard, even if he's back in December, no worries, provided Arsenal is winning. And I've always going to tell David Sozi, who always contacts me on WhatsApp, asking me, Rokani, will we survive? I've told him, please, Arsenal will survive. Arsenal will survive because they really have a lot of quality, and Arteta has gone ahead of his build a juggernaut in a team that has lots of players that have gone ahead, obviously know each other and read each other like a book. They're really are complementing one another very well. That's why I tell you, nothing is really going to fail Arsenal, and this is a period where you would love to see your players getting injured. And from December, January until May, the end of the season, you would love to see those injuries not coming in through constantly. So I believe it's a blessing in disguise for these injuries to come in through now, because right now, anything can happen. I tell you what, anything can happen, and anything can happen in your team. A team that has gone ahead to lose very many games can obviously capitalize and really start to really be a trophy contender, especially when it picks up from January. We saw Arsenal last season having gone ahead to lose 2 games in a row. I think they lost to Fulham and lost to West Ham. When they went to Dubai, they returned and they lost only 1 game to Aston Villa, and they drew to Liverpool and I think Man City. You get? The rest of the games were wins, and they were just 2 points behind Man City by the end of the season. So it shows you that however good it is for Martin Ødegaard to return, in November. But even if he doesn't return in November, if Arsenal continue to win its games, I tell you, it will be a blessing in disguise for Martin Ødegaard to get back into that team, especially in December. But the good news is he's expected to return in November, but I wouldn't like him to be hurried back. You get? Because I think in his absence, yeah, Arteta hasn't gone ahead to trust Waneri enough. I believe Waneri deserves more playing time at the club of Arsenal. That's what I really believe. And I know he's really going to be getting more and more and more and more. But I don't know what Arteta is really thinking about this. But all in all, it's really going to be one of those big bursts into the making. But Odegaard, for me, I love the player. I love the player. And in so course of loving him, he has gone ahead, obviously, put in a very beautiful shift. And to me, he's the best number 10 right now in the Premier League. I love everything he puts up on the field of play. He's really a person who is taking the boxes of a world-class player. I tell you, for me, he's world-class because ever since he came in through and played 6 months at Arsenal in the January, or from the January of 2021 to June of 2021, and he went back to Madrid. Then they signed him on a permanent in 2021, the summer, and he returned at Arsenal. He has been one of the most consistent players at Arsenal. Him, Saliba, Saka, I think even Declan Rice. For Partey, every time he has been available, I was going to put in a very big show, but he hasn't gone to be consistent. Benjamin White has been consistent. You can talk about Trossard. Ever since he came in through, he has been consistent. You get? So, even Gabriel Magalhaes, I think. Now, when you're really having a crop of a team that has close to 6-7 players whose levels don't drop off and they've been consistent, what else do you expect from a team like that? Obviously, we expect it to be operating at full pelt. So, we wait to see what Arteta is going to be telling us on Friday as he addresses the presser in the pre-match press conference of Arsenal versus Bournemouth. You know, Arsenal is going to be playing Bournemouth, you know, when we return from the international break. And that is the presser that we'll be waiting to get an update from. Getting an update from Martin Ødegaard and where everything has gone ahead, obviously, reach in there. Now, after that, let's go to Con Marbels, a man who brought us a story that this guy is going to get a setback, right? Now, he has gone ahead and told us the following about Bukayo Saka and his injury, that Bukayo Saka undertaking a scan to discover the severity of a hamstring issue, which forced him off in England's game versus Greece last night. No major fears as it stands, as initial diagnosis wasn't bad. So, he got a hamstring issue. And for hamstrings, sometimes all about the player resting, you know, to really get back. But we don't know how bad this hamstring is really going to be. And for Saka, I know he will push to play every game, but I'm always going to advise players like Saka that this year is really very important for him in as far as his Ballon charge is really concerned, because we don't have international tournament. We don't have the Euros, we don't have the World Cup, we don't have the African Cup of Nations, Copa America, it's not there, right? African Cup of Nations is going to be played next year, but it won't really matter. It's very hard for a person to win the African Cup of Nations and obviously come and contend for the Ballon d'Or. You understand? So, with no huge international tournament into this season, if Saka takes Arsenal to win the Premier League and the Champions League, it will be something great. Even if they don't win them and Saka does well, I think he has all what it takes to step on the podium of the Ballon d'Or for the very first time. And I think the last Arsenal player to step on the podium was Thierry Henry, and that was way back in 2006, if at all I'm not mistaken. You remember that that guy went ahead to play some good football in there for you. So, this time around, Saka has all what it takes. And from Saka, and my team and management and agency, I would have gone ahead, obviously, concentrate so much onto what Arsenal really gives me. I know he likes to be playing for England, but he needs to focus more onto the club because it's the club that is really going to get him a Ballon d'Or. When you look at England, there is already a player who is performing at a higher level, and he's really gonna shadow his chances to win a Ballon d'Or, and that is Jude Bellingham. Provided England really wins something, and Bellingham has gone ahead obviously win the Champions League, I think he beats Saka onto that. So Saka has to make sure he comes in through and wins the Premier League, Champions League, and the rest at England will be bonus. It will be an icing on the cake because he would have gone ahead obviously outcompete Jude Bellingham. But every time Saka will be in a competition to win a Ballon d'Or, when Jude Bellingham is there and Real Madrid has gone ahead obviously put in a very good shift, I think it won't really help him as a player. So guys, thank you very much for obviously watching in through, and that's what Saka is really gonna be going through, and I think the diagnosis results will be out before the end of today, and I anticipate that before the end of today I'll be here to bring you the latest news and information about Bukayo Saka's injury. So your thoughts onto shocking Odegaard injury fact truth are welcome in the comment section below, right? And Saka's diagnosis, first scan obviously never looked worse, but they're really waiting for the final results of the hamstring injury, and we are waiting to see what the last diagnosis is really going to show us, because the initial diagnosis was really that positive. We out. Bye bye for now.